Hey crazy truckers, I don't know how to tackle this video. Why, you say? Well, it is with a heavy heart that I have to make a slightly negative review of the Beatles Get Back. And I had big hopes for this movie documentary, as I said in this other video around here. If you haven't seen the movie, trilogy, documentary, miniseries, or whatever you want to call it, I have to warn you, there might be a couple of spoilers in this video. Not regarding the story itself, we all know how that ends, but as I review the movie, I'll be unveiling a few details that might be unknown to you. First of all, let me tell you that any shortcomings I see in this movie documentary, miniseries, I blame the head of the project, mainly the director Peter Jackson. Although in this case, his job has been mostly editing.
Rolling!
Sound speed.
Camera speed. 2. Awesome. Take 2. Mark.
Set up. Set. And action!
There are many things I like about Peter Jackson's style, and there are a few I could live without. I believe Peter Jackson may suffer from one of the most common director's diseases, namely, I can't make it any shorter-itis, also known as scissors allergy. If you want me to make a video explaining this peculiar condition, let me know in the comments down below. I'm sorry to say, but it's too much. It's too much for me, and I like to think myself as the ultimate Beatles fan. For the regular Joe, I think it's gonna be unbearable. One of the problems with so much stuff is that you can easily end up missing the good, important parts. And there are a great many of those as well. I mean, come on, the Beatles. But each episode, it's almost 3 hours. 3 hours. That's longer than your average fiction feature film. Did I say already that is long? And that's what my mom says about my videos. Translation, boring. The first episode, it's particularly tedious. You can tell the Beatles were not too happy with the whole setup. The director, Michael Lindsay Hogg, is constantly in the middle of the shot, smoking big cigars, trying to convince the Beatles to make a concert-like performance in the ruins of the amphitheater in Sabathra, Libya. A really cool location, but not without its problems. I'm sorry, but I find the presence of this Michael character very annoying. And I think after a while, the Beatles found it annoying too. The amount of irrelevant chit-chat is huge. And although it shows how there's still a lot of chemistry between the Fab Four, you could easily get away trimming at least 50% of the footage. Initially, this project was going to be supposedly a feature film, but incapable of overcome his I can't make it any shorter-itis, Peter Jackson went back to his favorite format, the trilogy. Anyway, regarding the documentary, the story is being told chronologically for the most part. They even use a calendar to transition from one day to another. I don't mind that transition, it works pretty well. I'm not too sure about telling the story chronologically. I guess it's the only viable possibility, especially considering that the footage was shot 50 years ago. Half of the Beatles are dead, and I don't think the other half is up for retakes. But there are quite a few things I thought very interesting. For instance, seeing the Beatles' creative process in action. You can see the songs growing and taking shape in front of your very eyes, such as Get Back itself. The presence of Billy Preston is of course a nice and invigorating addition. It was nice to see how John Lennon tried to help George Harrison get through the process of writing the iconic Something when he got stuck with the words. Just use a word like cauliflower. You'll find the right words later, said John Lennon. What a great piece of advice. Or when Ringo was trying to develop Octopus Garden on the piano before rehearsals in the Abbey Road studios, and George was trying to help him find a way back to round up the melody. So, why did the Beatles break up? As always, opinions are like asses. Everybody's got one. And I doubt there was a single reason, but the until death do us part can be a burden more than a boost. Back to the Doku trilogy. If you are an unconditional fan of the Beatles or you are a big music aficionado, you need to see the Beatles Get Back. Although I bet you'll hit the forward button more than once. In case you don't fall into any of those two groups, watch it at your own peril. Smell you later.
That was awesome. Yeah. Great, I'm happy.
It's a cut.
That's a cut.